Hackers win a Model 3, servicing a Tesla has changed a bit, Autopilot learned a new trick, and more. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 507 for March 25th, 2019. This show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a Model S, X, or 3, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use the code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 1,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. Okay, a little while back, I reported that Tesla had offered up a Model 3 to the Pwn-to-Own hacking competition for competitors to attempt to hack. The competition has came and went, and according to TechCrunch, one group did indeed manage a hack against the Model 3. Amat Kama and Richard Zhu, known as Team Fluoroacetate, were able to exploit a just-in-time bug in the renderer of the infotainment system to display a message on the center screen and take the prize on the last day of the competition. For their efforts, Tesla has awarded them the car, though it's not clear which of the two actually gets to keep it. Responding to the news that the car was indeed owned, Tesla said via an emailed statement, quote, "We entered Model 3 into the world-renowned Pwn-to-Own competition in order to engage with the most talented members of the security research community with the goal of soliciting this exact type of feedback. During the competition, researchers demonstrated a vulnerability against the in-car web browser. There are several layers of security within our cars which worked as designed and successfully contained the demonstration to just the browser while protecting all other vehicle functionality. In the coming days, we will release a software update that addresses this research. We understand that this demonstration took an extraordinary amount of effort and skill, and we thank these researchers for their work to help us continue to ensure our cars are the most secure on the road today." End quote. Congratulations to Team Fluoroacetate on winning the competition. Electrek reports that Tesla has reversed course on one of its previous service suggestions. When Tesla first began producing vehicles, an annual service visit was a required part of ownership, voiding the warranty if not followed. This requirement was eventually dropped, but the service remained suggested by Tesla, complete with prepaid packages that reduced the cost if they were paid for ahead of time. Now it seems that 7 years into servicing its own vehicles, the company is comfortable enough to not require the service any longer. The old annual service appointments previously would perform different maintenance depending on what year the service was brought in. Services included a general inspection, cabin air filter replacement, wiper replacement, key fob battery replacement, brake fluid replacement, AC service, and battery coolant replacement. The services ranged from $400 to $900 US, depending on the services performed. While Tesla still recommends some services be performed regularly, the major services such as brake fluid replacement, AC service, and battery coolant replacement are no longer something that is being strongly suggested yearly to owners as they were previously. Tesla is recommending the replacement of the cabin air filter and checking brake fluid every 2 years, and checking the HEPA filter every 3 years if your vehicle is equipped with it. Tire rotation is recommended every 10,000 to 12,000 miles, and cleaning and lubricating the brake calipers every 12 months or 12,500 miles when living in cold weather regions is suggested. Lastly, Tesla recommends replacing the desiccant of the air conditioning system every 2 years for Model S, every 4 years for Model X, and every 6 years for Model 3. Per their revised car maintenance website, Tesla says that those that purchase the prepaid services are free to cancel the plan and get a refund for the remaining services if they wish. Earl of Front Puppy fame on Twitter posted screenshots of the latest upgrade notes and Model 3 manual following his upgrade to software version 2019.8.3 in the US. The release notes update users that AutoSteer now contains a stoplight warning, where in some cases the car may alert you that you're about to run a red light if you have AutoSteer engaged. From the manual, the warning will display on the touchscreen and a chime will alert the driver that they are likely to run a red light. The alert ceases after a few seconds or when the brake is pressed. The manual is clear to warn drivers that the feature does not apply brakes or decelerate the car, that it does not apply to stop signs, and that it may not detect all stoplights either. The manual clarifies that the feature is intended to warn drivers when approaching a solid red or an old yellow light, and may not work at intersections with flashing lights. The documentation does not mention if it is specific to full self-driving, though I have to imagine with the recent changes to the feature that this will be an exclusive feature of that option. Lastly, it looks like the web browser in the cars is about to get an upgrade. Hopefully, this will help resolve the vulnerability that Team Fluoroacetate exploited earlier. Per Elon's Twitter account, the web browser is, quote, about to be upgraded to Chromium, end quote. This was in response to a Twitter user complaining they wished that the browser worked consistently. I have to agree, as since the upgrade to version 9, every so often the browser becomes completely unresponsive and requires the old two-thumb salute to restore it to functionality. No timetable was given for when we might see the upgrade. We'll see if it helps or not. A little bit of housekeeping before I send you off. With the return of the referral program, I wanted to make folks aware of my policy on the referral code you hear each show. The referral code is always a listener code, as I cannot take advantage of the program myself. Even so, I like the tradition that's been started, so even if Ohio is ever eligible for the program, I'll probably keep the format you're about to hear. I will only ever promote one code at a time, as it's firstly not fair to promote more than one in the same show, and secondly, it would lengthen the show when the format is geared to brevity. The code promoted is decided first by if either of my sponsor level patrons wishes to promote a code, and who requests it first. They receive priority until they relinquish it or are no longer a sponsor. If there is no sponsor wishing to have their code promoted, I've decided to open this up to anyone who is a patron. The idea is that I'll rotate through a patron code each episode whenever there is no sponsor. So if you're a patron and you'd like your referral code promoted, please message me on Patreon and I'll get you added to the list. There is one last caveat to this, and that is that Tesla does not allow advertising to promote a code, and reserves the right to withhold prizes in the event that they deem anything is not on the up and up. While I do not consider this advertising, the fact that money is being exchanged and a perk of that is the promotion of your code could be construed that way. I want to be transparent in all I'm doing, so fair warning on that possibility. With that housekeeping out of the way, let's get out of here, and I'll give you a quick word about Foam Daddy before we go. Foam Daddy is a nationwide company in the U.S. that sells and rents foam and snow machines. They're also proud to announce the arrival of the Real Snow Machine. This allows anyone to produce real snow in any temperature. Check them out at foamdaddy.com. My many thanks as well to our super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits, including our newest super patron, Nathan Garza. Thanks for the support, Nathan. He joins Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Kundici, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Adam Raymer Brown, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Robert Healy, Mitch Long, Zortec LED Canada, Morven Ogg, Blake Thompson, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Michael Pastroni, Travis and Cheyenne Rush, Cookie UK, Chris Hovis, Craig Murphy, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, ABN Concepcion. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. I'll see everyone back here again on Wednesday. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.